just to give you a quick overview, we're going to look at how to customize your documents. We're making it very easy. And again, your documents is what the client is going to see you. The document is how the client is going to view you specifically. So we made some changes to that. We're very excited about it. I won't go too much into it because I don't want to, give it all away just in the intro. We also have the Final Mile app. Some of you say, what's Final Mile? Well, it was the POD, the proof of delivery. Now we're calling it the Final Mile because we've added some much needed, operations such as pickups and turn by turn. We'll see that. We'll also talk about your LiveTrack, how it looks, not just how to modify and view it, but what's available for you to give your client. We also do have some shipping improvements we want to share with you, and rates and changes of that, as well as a new pallet dimensioner. Most of you all have heard of hardware that's available for you to be able to expedite the receiving process. Well, we're going to show you a new one that we have, and again, just update you on some changes that we made internally that will affect some of you in the products that we have. And finally, we'll finish off with a Q&A as to what it is that we're going to be doing with it. So, Chris, let's talk about customizing our documents.
Hello, everybody. This is Christian, product manager. Thanks, Jose, for the introduction. And I'm going to start by the most exciting, dynamic part of Magaya, according to Jose at least.
I can hardly contain my excitement.
Jose loves the document designer in Magaya. So here I have a quotation, and I'm going to just look at the pretty standard quotation template first that Magaya has. Okay, something I'm sure many of you have seen this interface. I have a very simple quote here, and I have this quotation template open in our document designer. So I'm going to show you now how to quickly and easily add your logo to a document. Of course, this webinar is slightly too short to do an in-depth document designer training or demo sessions. I'm going to really just focus on the new features of how to easily add your logo. This, by the way, is a very common technical support request that we get, just not to be an expert in document designer, but do something simple such as that. So I'm going to just create some space first where to put the logo. I'm going to take an existing element and move it out of the way a little bit. By the way, we've added a few controls at the top here, so you can now do things like make elements the same width very easily. And you can even undo this easily, like I'm going to do because I just made a mistake. And I'm making them the same width, aligning them, and I'm taking these elements and moving them out of the way a little bit so I have more room for my logo. Okay, so the logo, as you can see, is now a new type of element available to you at the top. Before, if you wanted a logo, you'd have to put a picture separately on each and every document. So now I'm just going to drag and drop this logo type of element here. And save my document. And go and see how it looks in Magaya. Okay. All right, so I'm going to hit refresh here. And here's my logo. Oh, I might have made too much room for it. The logo is smaller than I expected, but it's there. Very easy to add. And another little feature that some of you that are familiar with the document designer may have already noticed is that this quote now has multiple pages. If you look at the page style at the top, I actually have a second page that I already started a little bit before this that says terms and conditions. That is a very common type of request. How do I create a multi-page document? So now, if you observe on the left here, there's a new panel that says pages, and I've added a second one here. That is the terms and conditions page that I've added. And let me just quickly open my note. So there is, for example, a terms and conditions here. I'm just using random text. pasting it here, and I can make it bigger. And I can align it nicely. And save. Never forget to save. And refresh this document. And here are my terms and conditions. Of course, this is not a very beautiful example. I just made something very quick just to demo the functionality a little bit. We have actually a nice template. This was made custom for Colombia. One of our salespeople was very happy with this. Maybe a few of you have spoken to Mr. Andres Rubio. That was his special request. As you can see, 2 pages, both look different, single quotation, and it has also the logo there. So this concludes the short demo of the capabilities of the document designer, the added capabilities what we have now. Hope you liked it, and of course contact our tech support, our implementation department in a more in-depth training about how to do this. But something simple like adding a logo should now be in everyone's capability. So what I wanted to show you is where this logo file is actually coming from. Almost forgot the most important part. In your general configuration under the company, there is a browse button that allows you to select the file from your computer, and that's your company logo. That's where I uploaded mine here. Okay. So company under your configuration, and it will also actually be part of your startup wizard if you're starting a new database. So that's where the logo is now going to be distributed to all document templates, where you go ahead and place the logo placeholder. Okay, so let's say you change your logo, you get a better one. It's only one place to change it, and all your documents will update it. And the logo will also show up in another place. I will keep that as a surprise for later in this webinar. And let's continue with the next feature. All right, so Jose, do you want to talk about Final Mile?
Sure. It's not a movie. All right. First of all, Final Mile, we've changed our POD name to Final Mile. As you know, POD was proof of delivery, and we couldn't keep the name because now we've added functionality to it. When we brought out the POD and customers started, using it, they said, it'd be great if you guys can integrate a way to be able to pick this cargo up. So we went ahead and said, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And we created the ability for you to make and use the Final Mile through your pickups, scheduling the pickup orders, and also being able to use it still from deliveries as you would with the cargo releases and outgoing shipments. We'll also be able to do the capture. And as the clients started using it, not only did they say, hey, I also want it for pickups, they said, it'd be great if you had turn-by-turn navigation using your phone's native maps. So we went ahead and did that. So it's very, very exciting to be able to say, hey, we have it. We've heard your feedback. We're going to show it to you right now so you can see exactly how it looks. Chris, you with us?
I am here, and let's see if I can show my phone screen. There we go. That's my phone.
Perfect. So we're pretending that Chris is our driver. So he's about to go ahead and get started to log in like you normally would within the Final Mile, or those of you who still call it the POD. So we didn't say Final Mile.
And I've preset a couple of tasks here. I have a pickup order, and I have a cargo release. So the tasks are pickup and delivery. And by the way, a feature that a few of our first customers that are already using it found a little hard to discover. So I'm going to actually show it now, and we're probably going to have to redesign to make it a little more intuitive. But if you swipe on the task here, you can accept it. So this is me, the driver, saying I'm taking this delivery. But if I press and hold on either of the tasks, I can actually accept all of them together. So this is good for those that might have 100 packages, so that the driver don't have to go and click on each one separately. So I'm accepting all of these pending tasks. And now they moved to my accepted tasks view. And I can also look at those accepted tasks, which I'm now driving around and delivering on a map, and that is really the beautiful part here. So I see that there's a task 1 and a task 2, and I see a little gray number 1 where the second stop of task 1 is. Task 1 is a pickup, so obviously I have to go to the first stop first to pick up the items, only then I can drop them off. So it's suggesting I go to number 1 first. I can tap on number 1 and it opens a little dialog that helps me go to the address. Let me turn the volume up here because we know how much we all love to hear Siri. So if I do go to address here, it opens your built-in map application. Okay. If you're using Android, it'll be Google Maps. If you're using Apple, it would be Apple Maps. All right, so that is my first location.
Starting route to 835 Salcedo Street.
All right, Salcedo.
Head east on Northwest 53rd Street, then turn left onto Northwest 79th Avenue.
Thank you, Siri. All right, so I can now assume that I'm there, and I click on the top right here, takes me back to the Final Mile app, and similarly, I can drive to the second one. Now, the other button that's available for me here is the deliver button, which is now when I'm at the destination, I can deliver this, okay? And for dispatching this item, I have a couple of options. I can tap to the line. You see I have 2 boxes of Kleenex that I'm delivering here. Or I can hit the little camera icon at the top that allows me to use the phone's built-in scanner. So let me do this. All right. Oh, this is my shoe. I'm sorry. All right, so here is the part number or Magaya tracking number that I'm scanning. Looks like it was incorrect. Maybe I've made a little typo here. Let's see. Okay. Let me try again. Maybe there's the light's not okay. Very good here for this. Okay, for some reason it's not recognizing my barcode, probably because of low light, or maybe I typed it wrong in the system. But
or maybe your driver's scanning the wrong item.
Maybe my driver's scanning the wrong item. So then I can also manually count all the items that I'm handing to the customer right now. And let me capture the customer's signature here. This is Jose. Jose, would you kindly sign?
But of course.
That's Jose signing right now, and I'm hitting complete task. And so this signature now with Jose's name is updated in your Magaya system real time and also in LiveTrack should they log in and see if it's delivered. Okay, so I'm not going to do the second task now. You all get the picture. It is a pretty nice app that we've now enabled also to work with the phone's built-in maps. All right. So let us continue. Actually, no, there's one important part about Final Mile. The pricing.
Oh, yeah?
Isn't that your favorite part, Jose?
Yes, of course. That's the one. You guys always give me the easy jobs. So let's talk about pricing. And one of the things that we realize is that a lot of customers here locally, and of course here in South Florida locally, but also in Houston, you have your own trucks. We realized, and the feedback was, the pricing is still a little bit difficult to reach those clients who want to use the actual software itself and the POD. So when we have you try it out, some of that feedback came back was that the pricing was still a little bit out of the range. So we went ahead and changed the pricing. Now we do have tier pricing regarding the system. It used to be at $50, so now it's been reduced. Depending on which system that you have, it really doesn't matter. In this case here, the pricing has dropped dramatically. So we're very interested in being able to show you those prices. So for those of you that are interested, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll let you know exactly how much that pricing has changed. Okay?
Great. All right, so the next area that we're going to touch is LiveTrack. And this is, again, as I mentioned earlier, Magaya is a customer service tool for you first and foremost, and LiveTrack is really, besides the documents, the other tool that you have, the other front end, let's say. So let me show you where the other place of the logo that I mentioned earlier is. So here it is. The login page of your LiveTrack will automatically be displaying the same logo that you uploaded to be displayed on your documents. Okay, so I'm going to log in here as my customer John, and let's see what LiveTrack has in store for John. Okay, so John was also actually the customer who I delivered the cargo release 180, the 2 packs of Kleenexes in the final mile demo earlier, and as you can see, the status of this has been changed to delivered. And right here I have Jose's signature, as you saw it being captured just minutes ago. So that is just to wrap up the final mile part. And let's show some updates, some improvements in how we create records in LiveTrack. So some of you probably haven't used that part of LiveTrack at all, but we have a number of records that come in the LiveTrack Plus plugin. Used to be different plugins for creating what we call online transactions, such as creating online bookings, creating online sales orders, pickup orders. We have now placed the shortcut icon at the top, so you don't have to go to the list anymore. So if I want to create an online pickup order, which I'm doing now, I can do it without opening the pickup orders list first. So that's just a tiny little improvement here. So I'm going to add an online pickup order. Online pickup order essentially would allow you to provide a front end to your customers to say, don't call me anymore if something needs to be picked up, or don't send me an email. Just go log in with your user to LiveTrack and add this pickup order, and I will get it in my Magaya system. Okay, so we've had this for years, but the new thing we've added for those of you that deal with vehicles is we now have this vehicle details option here, and it actually works with the VIN decoder plugin. So VIN decoder, we use a database to search for VIN numbers and provide vehicle data. So I have some actual VIN numbers I found on the internet. I hope it's none of your cars. So let's see if it finds this one. Okay, so this is a 2014 Subaru XV Crosstrek that my customer is telling me to go pick up. All right, so I'm adding it, I'm hitting next. Let's say they want it to be picked up tomorrow at this location, John Smith Agency, and let's say they want it to be delivered to me or wherever it goes day after tomorrow, and I'm choosing my warehouse here. There can be many business applications to pick up orders, anything between point A and point B, but a common one is pick it up somewhere and bring it to me, to my warehouse, so I can get it ready for being shipped abroad. Okay, so I'm entering my pickup and drop-off location. Here is a summary of the transaction. Hit submit. Yes, I'm sure. And this pickup order, now I can see it in my pickup orders list here as John in LiveTrack, but more importantly, it will also be available immediately in my Magaya system. Okay, so looking at the pickup order here. Now, since we're talking about vehicles, another feature that we've had for a while, but let me show it again now with vehicles, and probably with any cargo actually, it's really important to also submit the supporting documentation. So let's say I'm uploading an attachment here right from LiveTrack, assuming that this, for example, could be the vehicle title or something like that. All right, so let's upload and save this. And another new feature, and again, this is not only for pickup orders, it's for any record in LiveTrack. Now, if you look at the record detail here, like I'm viewing it now, there's a new button here that says email, okay? So again, many business applications, maybe your customer is looking at the record and they want to send it to their boss to take a look at, they want to send you an email directly asking, what is this? They want to share this with anyone for any reason. So I can actually send an email directly out of LiveTrack now with the record that I'm sending it from attached as a PDF, okay? Sending this email, and then we're going to go and check in my Magaya system to see what the pickup order looks like, and we're going to go and see if I receive this email. Okay, so let me open my Outlook here. I hope I don't get too many emails. All right, so pickup order list. Let's refresh it, and there you go. There's my pickup order. Also, you can create a system alert so that it pops up a task or an email sent by your Magaya, so that you're definitely not going to miss this one. And there's my 2014 Subaru Crosstrek with the attachment. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. The attachment is actually on the pickup order, not on the vehicle. So there's my attachment, the PDF file that I added. All right. So this was the new feature for the bin decoder being included in online pickup orders, and the new feature for sending out emails. Okay, so there's my pickup order number 35 that I just created and sent to my own email in this case. All right, looks like my Outlook is a little busy here at the moment. Wants us to take 5 minutes for coffee.
I'll be right back.
Yes. All right, I'll give Outlook a second and see what our next step is in LiveTrack. All right, so the next one is online sales orders.
Yeah, this is really interesting for us guys. A lot of you have salespeople that you're working with, and this salesperson is outside trying to get new business for you.
Here it is. So my pickup order opened. Sorry.
Nice. So we want to go ahead and give you that capability. And this happens for us. Sometimes we may be out visiting you, and you want to change in the system. Well, we want to give the same capability that we're giving our sales staff at being able to make a change on the account or make an order while they're on the street. So some of you do have some sales staff. We want to show you how that's being able to be worked with Magaya right now. So Chris.
All right. So we have two new features, and they can be used together very well, but they don't necessarily have to be. So first, I'm just going to look at sales orders, and I'm creating a new sales order in my LiveTrack, and I'm still logged in as my customer John. Okay, so let's say I hold some of John's part numbers in my warehouse, and John now needs them. So he would log in, and in this screen, he would look at all the commodities, all the part numbers that he has. All right. Looks like my Outlook
is not working.
No, it's probably, let's see. All right, and next. Okay, here we go. So here I have a nice little catalog, which can be by category. If they have groups of items, let's say, that shows everything that I have from John. And you can add in your Magaya system even images to this. So there's my favorite part number. For some reason, it happens to be Kleenex today. And I see that I have over 1,000 available. And let's say John wants 500 of them. Hit add and see it in the dialog here with my packing list. And also you can enable back orders. So even if you don't have the full quantity available, they could still place the order, and you would have to, or it can be done automatically by your Magaya system, place a purchase order for those items. Okay, so this when I go ahead and hit next here and submit, will allow me to create a sales order in my Magaya system. But what I wanted to show you is that we've also thought about those that have very large orders and sometimes get it as a spreadsheet. So I can actually upload a CSV file here, and I prepared one that will also give me some errors, because obviously the question would be, what if it doesn't work? All right, so I'm uploading a file with many lines of sales order. Okay, so on the right you see the dialog now shows all the lines that we successfully identified from the CSV file, the part numbers, the available quantities, and the quantities that we ordered. And in the bottom here, I see errors. So here I see errors that say that you requested more than we have available. So we have 200 requested, 20 available. I can, for example, choose to still add it and just have 20 because I don't have back orders available, or I can choose to not order it and wait for until I have the full quantity. So adding this sales order into my system now and seeing how it works real time. If we go to my Magaya Explorer and open sales order list, and let's refresh it, and we should have one from today. This is the sales order that John just placed. Okay. Now, the final new feature is a new type of account in LiveTrack. Okay. So LiveTrack used to be for customers. So you would, in your entity list here, when you set up LiveTrack, you would go to either customers or forwarding agents. Now you can set up a LiveTrack access for your salespersons. Okay. So this is what Jose was touching upon earlier. Very useful if your salespersons are on the road somewhere, or if even in the office, if they need to have some sort of access to the transactions that their customers are doing. Okay, so I'm logging in as John Salesy, my star salesman here, and let's see what they can see. All right, so John could see all his quotes. Looks like I might not have created any for John. All right, all their sales orders, but also all their bookings and shipments, and this would run through participation. If you have salesperson participation in your commission structure, you see that these are all the shipments that John gets participation from, so therefore they show up in his LiveTrack. Okay, and when John places a sales order, like we just did in an earlier example, when we were logged in as a customer, customers can log in and place sales orders. If the salesperson does it from their LiveTrack, they have the option to select as a buyer any of their customers. So basically they could literally be on the road visiting a customer, and customer wants some items, and they can go, let me go ahead and log into LiveTrack and place this order for you. And so when they pick the customer here in the next screen, we need full. Let's pick someone that has good. I have to select an address, of course. So there's a warehouse, and this is the contact data. And so now we see only this particular customer's items, or items that haven't been assigned to any customer. So maybe John has the freedom to sell the same items to multiple customers. Okay, so the sales order interface is the same, so I'm not going to stop here for longer. And that's it for LiveTrack. The final thing, go ahead and try it. We are now optimized for iPads and Microsoft Surface tablets. So give it a go. Give us feedback how it runs. But the web view is now responsive to those tablets. Okay. All right. So next one is about some of the core functionality of Magaya. Okay. So we know that we keep adding features to a very, very broad spectrum of functionality, while the most of you use Magaya, for specific things, mostly in the freight forwarding domain. Okay, so we do listen and we do add new features. So the next part of the presentation, let me go back to the slide and give you a little overview. Every single one of these have been requested by a customer within the last year or two. Okay, so even though they might be individually small, we do add them, and they make the core product, our core functionality, better. Okay, so I'm going to show you that you're able to now copy commodities on shipments, you can control better who sees the charges, the shipment charges in LiveTrack. You can regenerate charges for the whole consolidation. If you have large consolidations, it should make handling of them much easier. You can control when the shipment documents update themselves, which makes performance much better for large consolidations. And you can now file EI as a forwarding agent as opposed to just a shipper. And for those that use ExpressLink, there's a little new feature as well, which will take 10 seconds to show, which I'll do in the end. Okay, so let's look at this shipment here, a large consolidation that I have prepared. Okay, so I have here a master with many houses, and each of these houses has charges and has documents and has some cargo. Okay, so first let's look at a particular house here, and this, my friend John again, and here are some charges here. Okay, so let's, this is the final time I'm logging into LiveTrack today. I hope you're not getting tired of seeing LiveTrack. And the shipment that I'm currently viewing in Magaya Explorer, let's see how John sees that one in LiveTrack. Okay, so if I go to shipments, here you see a new feature as well, where a screen that's not the dashboard opens as the first screen. You can set up default screens, and for John it was cargo releases actually. All right, let me unfilter this. All right, so this is the shipment that we were looking at in Magaya, and as we can see, there are no charges that John can see. Okay, but here we see that there indeed are charges. So there's a configuration setting to decide whether you want your customer to be able to view the charges in LiveTrack. I'm turning it on now. So John now will be able to see all the charges on this shipment. So if I just close and open this again, there you go. So they can see ocean freight service handling and some documentation fee. However, some of these charges aren't actually his. He's not going to be the applied to party. If we look closely in Magaya, the ocean freight is for John to pay, but handling fee and the documentation fee will be paid by the consignee. So now we've added also a feature to say only show the charges that apply to this particular LiveTrack customer. So now this shipment should show one charge instead of three, and that's it. Ocean freight service, the only thing that's actually John's to pay. So this is again little improvement in LiveTrack. Okay, so now let's go ahead. Let's go back to the shipment and let's file, or begin the process of filing our EI to the ACE portal here, and we have a new drop down for the US PPI, which stands for United States Principal Party of Interest in customs language. All right, so I can now file as a forwarding agent. So you see in the confirmation screen, now it's me, the forwarder, filing on behalf of the shipper with my EIN number, my ACE account, so I don't have to file as a shipper anymore. Okay, I'm not going to go through with this because we've had another webinar, and there's another video on our YouTube channel on how to do how to file EIs to the ACE portal, and also on our knowledge base. All right, so let's go back here, and the next quick new feature is for ExpressLink. Okay, so ExpressLink is our name for shipping with FedEx, UPS, and by the way, very soon, we're already testing it, it's programmed, also for USPS, okay? So creating shipments directly from Magaya. So there used to be a limitation that you can only have items with a single piece per line in these shipments. This is still a requirement from the couriers, so that hasn't changed, but now we help you split this automatically. If you look in the background, it looks like I have a line here with 3, so previously this would not have allowed me to ship this with FedEx or UPS. Now it'll tell me, would you like us to split this automatically? And I say yes. And again, I'm not going to go through the whole procedure here. Let me do this. This is and it says all items have been split to single pieces, and I now see that my 2 lines with 1 and 3 have been turned to 4 separate commodity lines. I'm not going to go through creating the whole FedEx shipment. That's again a different webinar. But now I see also my shipment that the commodities have been split, so I can send it easily. All right. Speaking about these commodities, again, a very little addition, but might be relevant to some of you. You can now add them by copying an existing one. It was only possible to add them from scratch by using the add button, or to load them from warehouse receipts, etc., by using the load button. Now you can click on an existing commodity and add a copy or a few and do it right from there. Okay, so we have 2 more features that to show on this shipment, and these are both related to managing consolidation. So this shipment, even though we've been looking at a single house, it is a consolidated shipment. And when you click on the charges and you right click, and there's this option regenerate charges. This has been there for years as well, and it's good for recalculating any charges that you have based on the cargo weight volume, or if you don't have charges, like I can go ahead and delete them here, then this option will trigger the mechanism that pulls charges from your automatic charges setup, let's say. So you might have set up, like I have here, that the ocean freight service and handling fee, that's why I'm seeing it twice now, are going to be there on every outgoing ocean house shipment. So this regenerate charges, you would have to do it in the actual charge table in the past. So now we've added an option to do this on the master level. Okay, so I'm deleting all these charges from this house. I'm going to the master, and here under the houses option, I now have regenerate house charges, which I'm clicking this. What it's doing now, what it did now, as you can see, is it went through all my 7 houses, but it could have been 300. And instead of you manually having to verify that all your automatic charges are still calculating correctly, it now regenerated all of them. So if I go back to my house here, the charges are back. Okay, so that's another, just an improvement on handling large consolidations. And finally, we have many customers that have sometimes said that the way the documents update on shipments makes work a little slow if you have large consolidations. So here I have just 7 houses, and each of them has 5 documents, as you can see. And so when you make changes, so let's say I'll add another few items here, add copies. What happens now is that as soon as I leave this house, the whole consolidation is going to get saved, and all the documents on all the houses are going to get updated. This might take a couple of seconds to run, or if you have JavaScript customizations on documents, it might take many seconds to run through a large consolidation and check for updates on every single document. Okay, so now if we go to the master here and look at the options under documents, there's now this checkbox that you can disable. It's enabled by default to keep compatibility, but you can disable the automatically update documents feature, which means these documents now won't update based on the changes you make on the shipment. Okay, so to make them update, I have 2 options. So let's go back to this house and let me add more items, or make another update. Okay, and go to this document. Okay, so the way to make this document update now is either update it from the document's own context menu. That's an option you already had before. Or if I know that I've been making changes on documents or on houses and master for the whole consolidation, I can now go to the master level and say update all documents now. Okay, with this little consolidation, 7 shipments, you probably didn't notice the difference, but saving this house there didn't update the document nor any other document. So I can just go and have it run through the consolidation. All right, so this concludes the part about improvements to shipments. Okay.
The final thing we want to talk about is really the updated product offering. When most of you got a presentation of the software, you heard that we had 4 products. Depending on how our customers have evolved, those products have been available. So you have the cargo system, supply chain, we had the commerce system for people who bought and sell, and then we had just a basic WMS. What we realized was there was this blurred lines between the WMS and the commerce system. So we joined them together to make the Magaya distribution system. Okay, it's called the Magaya WMS and distribution, and we've added the scalability where a warehouse person who is not necessarily buying and selling but needs to keep track of POs be able to actually add that Magaya distribution system. So in a nutshell, what it is, we have the WMS, we've added the commerce, and we basically just call it the WMS and the distribution system. So what does that mean for you? Well, for your current customers, which all of you are, we've removed the commerce system. We have a new product name. It's called, the WMS and distribution. So it's a name change for you. You still have the same functionality and price. For those who have the WMS, we've actually added the functionality of the commerce at no extra cost. You're just going to be what we say grandfathered in to the actual new price. And what you do receive here is on this screen, you actually do have the jobs function where you can kind of keep track of everything that's going on under the operations and jobs, and you do have purchasing and sales. So you have that option now within the WMS. Again, if you have cargo system or supply chain, there are no changes for you, but if you do have the WMS, you've basically been upgraded for free at no extra cost to the actual WMS and distribution system. Okay. Now, we do have a Q&A. We want to give you guys an opportunity for us to kind of reach out and see any questions that may have come up. So feel free to type your questions, and Chris and I will do our best at getting back to the questions that you have. So we'll have some time here to open the polls up just for you and see what questions we have.
All right. So let's see.
Felipe asked if we have the webinar in Spanish. Right now we just have it in English, Felipe. We will have one in Spanish in order to cover the same in the future.
All right. And okay, so the question from Miguel, which version of Magaya has all these features? It is if you go right now and download Magaya, or if you do an online update to your existing Magaya system, you will get version 10.51, I believe, at the moment. So it's basically 10.5. This is the new release. Came out in December. We've had a few minor updates to it already. So 10.5 is the answer. All right. Then is there a way to get Magaya training for general use? Yes, absolutely. The easiest way is to just call our customer service number and say that you want training, and they will direct you to the implementation department or to one of our certified partners to provide that training. It'll be billed hourly, depending exactly on what you need. And
we also do have our knowledge base, Chris.
Yes, exactly. Just wanted to get there too. We have our knowledge base that you can access directly from the page 1, or also, for example, here you can request support, so you can type in your question that you would like training also right here. So knowledge base, knowledge.magaya.com. It is also now available in Spanish and on mobile devices. Okay, but the answer is definitely yes. In how to get or is it possible to get training from Magaya? Okay. So we have a question also about training and specifically about accounting. Is there a way to get a sample chart of accounts that another forwarder is using? That we will not be able to provide you because your data is your data, and so is the other forwarders. But we do have a sample chart of accounts already preloaded with the software. That is somewhat standard in the industry, I guess. But if you get training in accounting, the trainer will definitely show you how to either set up or import from a CSV file your chart of accounts. Okay, or a sample chart of accounts that you get from elsewhere. Yes, this webinar will be recorded, and a link to the recording will be in the follow-up email that all the attendees are getting. That was another question. All right, so there was a nod here from Steven to the Magaya system crashing during the webinar. I think that was the Java updater that ran in the background. But in any case, yes, sometimes issues like this happen, and Steven is asking what to do when you have recurrent issues with the system stability. Something is making it crash. The first step, again, the same one as when you need training, when you need technical support. Go to the page one or call our number, and a specialist will be assigned to you to work out the issue. All right. Can we integrate with NetCHB? Since I don't know what NetCHB is, I have to apologize. My guess is no. But if you, this is another one. Maybe if you need a more detail, you can send us a more detailed description. We could answer that question. We have an API which allows to build custom integrations, but this is something that the services of the programmers programming this API connection with the software package that you're interested in integrating with is billable.
NetCHB is basically for you to be able to do the ABI. Some of you may be custom brokers and may need to do the ABI. As you know, Magaya does offer the AMS and the ISF, but we don't have the ABI. We have that usually through Smart Border. Okay, so that's who we can actually communicate with right now when it comes to the ABI. If that is something that you need, we can research to see how many of the clients need that specific feature. We can definitely either have you in contact with Smart Border, or obviously we have a chance to look to see what that the NetCHB.
Yes. So that was thank you, Jose, for that clarification. So yes, we do currently use Smart Border for our customs integration. All right, can I get a copy of the webinar? Yes, again, in the follow-up email, there will be a link to get the recording. All right, so there is Alicia is asking for an email address. We will provide, Alicia, we will contact you after this webinar. All right, and all right. And then there is a question, a contribution from Linda. Thank you. Feature I like about the final mile is that I can also view my pending tasks for other activities apart from pickups and deliveries. This is very convenient for us. That is correct. One part of the final mile that we didn't demo is the general tasks that you can have without a user assigned specifically, and even without a task type assigned specifically, that will display them as little messages in your tasks window. So it is not just specifically for the pickup and delivery tasks. It is also to be able to just send communication. Thank you for that contribution, Linda.
The other thing there, Ms. Linda, is also it gives you an opportunity to, these tasks that the system is generating, it gives you an opportunity to know how long it's taking these tasks to be done. So it gives you a way to gauge which driver is actually taking care of these, these deliveries faster for you. Now, remember, the guy who's going around the corner is going to take a lot, shorter time. But yes, it does give you an ability to kind of gauge the efficiency of the people who are working for you in the warehouse.
All right. Then there was a follow-up to a question from Jose. Can Magaya be connected to an accounting system in Ecuador? And
the answer is yes.
It would have to be through the API connection?
Through the API, correct. The answer is we can connect. We just have to go through the API. One of the things that's caused us to be able to have very success in other markets, like say for Mexico, we partner up with companies who are locally doing these type of transactions. So you can export information from Magaya to their system and through the actual accounting for customs. It would be very difficult to have one standalone system like Magaya to connect to, millions and millions of customs systems throughout the world. But this is what we're doing, and it's been very successful for us.
All right, so we have so far the final question asking about existing API integrations with banks to help users update bank balances and reconcile payments. Not that I know of, but again, my knowledge is limited. We have thousands of customers, and maybe we have done some. Currently, the way to reconcile payments is basically manual. We have a reconciliation window where you can compare it with your bank statement and check them off manually.
So the short answer is no.
The short answer is no, and we have no more questions. So thank you, everybody, and Jose, final words.
I just want to say thank you very much. We ran a little bit over, but we thank you for your opportunity of showing you. Feel free to reach out to us. You can always email us. Okay. And again, Chris and I have our emails, but you can always give us a call. You can always email me directly. You can also say sales@magaya.com. We'll be able to receive it for you. We'll love to hear your feedback. And once again, thank you and have yourself a great day, guys. Thanks a lot.